Hello, hello, hello to each and every one of you, wherever you may be, and welcome to the Inspirational Livestream once again. Right, we are here, and obviously the livestream before podcasts take place. But yes, this is it, the Inspirational Livestream night. Who is here? Hi, Dawn Marie. Hello to you, my lady. Hello, hello. Hello to you. And Charlie, nice to see you. Hello to Charlie. Jax, Dreyor Girl, hello to you. I think that's how you pronounce it, but hello, Jaxa. Hello, Jaxa. So, hello to my lovely Sue. Hello. And Harriet, hello. Hi, Claire. Hello to you. Do be assured, Claire, I'm doing okay now. I was about 2 weeks ago subdued for about a couple of days following the death of Graham, as we all were, and obviously some of us were undoubtedly gutted about the loss of Graham. But I'm doing fine now. You know, friendship loss, hard as it is, it's not as difficult as, say, losing a loved one or a best friend. You know, losing loved ones or best friends is even harder than losing a friend of yours, that is. But obviously, as one would say, one's got to move past. But a nice long hug to lovely Claire, lovely Claire, whom she once said that I'm her lovely boy. Oh, lovely Claire. Christine, hello to you. Sue, hello to lovely Sue up in Lincolnshire. Hello. Hello to you always. And Maria, hello to you. Now, something did surprise me. What has surprised me most is the fact that Sue Smith is already live streaming. Sue Smith and Trevor Colt are both doing a live together, and I didn't know. Strange. Very, very strange. But, you know, it's happened. It's obviously happened when I could have least expected it. But there we are. There. You know, certain things can happen unexpectedly in certain circumstances. Right now, yes, apparently so. Right now, yes. Surprise me as it might, or surprise one as it might. Yeah, no, Trevor, I mean, they're not doing lives on both channels. I mean, it was Trevor who popped onto Sue's channel, that is. Christine made her point, that is, yes. No, it really did surprise me as it might. Sue was live streaming, and I don't know why, and I don't get why, but whenever Sue and Trevor are doing a live on Sue's channel, I seem to always miss it. Oh, God. Right, wait a moment. No, I always seem to miss it, and I don't know why. But very, very unusual. I mean, I don't know how much longer they're going to go on for, but they've been going on for nearly 30-odd minutes. Yeah, it's called Harry's Visa, yes. Right, yeah. I know it's called Harry's Visa, yes. Hello to Harriet. Hello once again. Hello to Willa and Alice too. Really? I haven't seen it yet, Charlie, but I'm going to give it a watch. I'll certainly give it a watch. Oh, they did not release any information. Oh, God. Yeah, there was no information. Yes, it's extremely disappointing. I know that. And of course, welcome Dormady, next duty is the mod. Good luck with it, and you're doing well. The only ones we are awaiting are Pamela and Jodie. Obviously, Jodie would be lacking, but no trouble. Certainly no trouble at all. Oh, Alison's I love. Willa is as naughty and haughty as... Oh, my goodness, does Willa ever stop? Cheeky git. Naughty git, more likely. I'm all right, thank you, Charlie. I'm quite well. She's lacking. I imagine both are lacking, undoubtedly. Oh, there we are. Fiona Diamond is in. Hello to Fiona. Willa is a pain in the backside still. Was Willa always a pain in the backside? And so, one thing I would ask Harriet, do punishments seriously not work whenever you punish Willa for wrongdoing? Do they seriously not work? So I would imagine she needs, do you think she might need cat therapy? I quite like the English electric diesels, Charlie. I quite like the English electric diesels. Charlie! But back in the 1980s, when he was a teenager, he used to see a lot of the English electric diesels when they were still running in service. His name's Jake Atkinson. And I'd recommend you watch Jake Atkinson. Good YouTuber. Don't think he does videos now. I think he did recently, but a lot of his videos from when he saw them back in the 1980s. No, really, a lot of the trains back in the 1980s look a lot nicer and better than general modern day. You know, and a lot of the modern day, after a while, it can be quite boring to see them as regularly. But I can really see the trains back in the 1980s and 90s were much more interesting than most of modern day. But the older ones, still in the mainline service today, are interesting to see, luckily. Hi, McMeow. Hello and hugs to you, and hello to your kitty cat. Hello to your cat. Lindy. Hello, lovely Lindy. Lindy and the cats are in. Hello to you. Yes, Hailey's in, Maria. The Flying Scotsman, yes. Punishments don't work, really. Oh, that is not good. Punishments have ceased to be effective. Now that's shocking. Just finished watching Trevor and Sue Smith's live. That's the one I just missed. I'm 24 this year, Charlie. I'm only 24, so it would have happened when it happened before I was born. But I've seen many pictures of it. I've seen many pictures of the Intercity livery on the HSTs, Intercity 125. I've seen that many times. I've seen the livery and videos of it, but I haven't seen them in action. Although I did see the retirement event almost 5.5 years ago. Yogi, what a lovely surprise to see you in here. Hello. What a real lovely surprise. A lovely, lovely surprise to see you here indeed. Wow. Hello. And Simone. Hello, my lovely Simone. Hello to you. Gosh, what time is it over in Sydney? I need to check. Sydney time. Oh, 7, nearly 8 o'clock. So you've pretty much almost breakfast time in Sydney. So good morning to you in the future, lovely Simone. No, but I'm thinking very much of you, Simone. Thinking of you and your disabled daughter, whom you're having to look after full time. Not easy looking after a physically disabled child, isn't it? Poor girl. But at least she's got you to love and hug. That's the main thing. You know, it's always nice to have it's always, not just nice, but it's valuable to have somebody to love and hug, isn't it? Blacksmith's in. I did say hello to Blacksmith. Yes, Blacksmith's birthday on Thursday. Yes, only as truth has things. Having your morning coffee. Well, I hope you're enjoying your morning coffee. Yes, I am. I'm a cat lover. Well, as evidence with the Daphne and Nixie content I do. My cats. I'm a cat lover. And Blacksmith's got a cat, so he's a cat lover. But I think he's had cats before Basil, that is. 4:46 Orlando time in Orlando, Florida. Yes, you're Orlando. I remember you saying before, Fiona, yes. Dave, it's Dave Bryan, Classics and Sports Cars Vlog Channel. Hi to Dave Bryan, one of my best friends and fellow classic car enthusiast. Hello to you. I mean, one should always be thankful if you've got wonderful friends like David Scott, Jonathan Clements, and Dave Bryan. You know. And also, secondly, I do not take either three for granted. You're a cat lover too. You have 2 late-age adopted cats. Oh, how lovely, Yogi. How lovely. How lovely learning, sir. Oh, it's certainly a pleasure. And love and hugs, my lovely Simone. If I could, I'd certainly give you a big, nice, long hug. Lurking as always. Going out for an evening meal with a friend of your lovely late wife. How lovely, Blacksmith. How lovely. No, it's lovely to see you. Not very often. Hardly often, Fiona. No, but I'm going to try and make it a point to ride on a steam train at the Kenton Sussex Steam Railway at the time of the Tenterden Boss Rally. Yes, I know you had 5 cats, but you lost the one last year, I know. Oh, it's a pleasure, Simone. No, I do thinking of you and your disabled daughter. Thinking of you both. 16 house cats, yeah, 2 further cats. You're babysitting, you have a little dog, love them all. Oh gosh, it's a lot to deal with. Yes, I know they're retired now, most of them. Yes, I know that, Charlie. The only sets in service today is ScotRail, and they are soon being withdrawn from service. Luckily, some have been saved. Oh gosh, a lot of these old ones are going out, are retiring now, aren't they? A lot of the best trains are retiring now. Scary, 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 scary. Your boxes are named Calvin and Klein. Sir Lord Dandy, hello to you. Thank you, Jody. Thank you for your kindness as usual. Thank you. Thank you for the reminders, Harriet. Thank you. No. No, but it's sad that they're retiring now, Dormery. But, the older trains, I believe, and think are the best ones that have ran in service. The cat. Oh, Yogi, you didn't have to. Thank you for the super thanks. No, you sincerely, truly and sincerely, you didn't have to. But thank you. Thank you for the kindly donation. You well and truly doesn't have to, but thank you all the same kindly. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you, McMeow. Thank you kindly. Thank you. I mean, I know Pamela's going to want to know. Pamela Garza, that is. Pamela's going to want to know if I've got any presentations to show. Good news is I've got 2 new presentations to show. It's going to obviously please Pamela, but we've got 2 new presentations to show later on into the live stream. Pleasure. And Yogi, since seeing some of your live streams and seeing how well you present them and the content you provide, even though I'm not a regular commenter on your content, I truly do believe you're worthy of being interviewed in the future. I think you're certainly most by and large completely worthy of being interviewed. No, Yogi is extremely kind. He really is. He represents a wholesomely fantastic community. Wholesome community all the way forward. That's what we want. Wholesome community. Yeah, no, I could imagine so. You sometimes see them in Gatwick Airport when they do the Gatwick Airport to Reading route. what have you, Charlie. I've seen those all. And oh, Fiona, you didn't have to. Gosh, we've got some generosity in here. Thank you for your generosity. But thank you. Thank you. Ta-da! Hello to you, Maureen. Hello, hello, hello to you. Yes, I'm well. I'm extremely well. Good evening to you, Rexy. Good evening. Good evening, Your Majesty, sir. Goodness, it's been a long time since I last heard from you, but good evening to you. I don't think it works if you're using a phone or iPad. I don't think that would work. I think one would more likely have to do it on the computer. But please, Fiona, you do not have to join. You certainly do not have to. It's only for those who want to do it. But if you want to do it, that's wonderful. But if you don't, that's certainly fine. No trouble at all. Hoping you're okay for health, Your Majesty, sir, and hoping Her Majesty the Queen Camilla, the Queen Consort, is okay too. You've gone through a lot for health, and also going through a lot of shit with Harry and Megsy Meghan. Too much shit you've gone through with those ghastly, dastardly duo. But I'm really hoping you and your wonderful wife are okay, Your Majesties. No, but I hope how goes cancer, Your Majesty, sir? How goes cancer? You know, I mean, you were really going through a lot of treatment for cancer. It's not an easy thing to go through. No, Maureen's lovely. Maureen's lovely. Thank you, Maria and Lindy, for your friendliness towards Maureen. And good evening to you, Rexy. Good evening always. You're worthy of a podcast, Yogi. You're well and truly worthy of one. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You're so lovely, Dawn Marie. Thank you, fellow mod. Flying Scotsman is on the Bluebell Railway. Oh, that's interesting. You have been busy trying. Lilibet has... I know, Sapper has still got Lilibet. Do Harry and Megsy Meghan have any fucking clue as to what parenting entails? Sorry about the language, but they have no fucking idea as to what parenting entails. Harry and Megsy Meghan. No fucking idea whatsoever. No, Maria is lovely, isn't she? Harry and Megsy Meghan make me incandescent with rage. Good one, Maureen, good one. Okay, ta-ta for now, Charlie. Do take care. Good luck with school. You know, you're in your final year. You're going to be leaving this year. You know, but all I can is wish you luck. They have no fucking idea as to what parenting entails. Harry and Megsy Meghan. No fucking idea whatsoever. Yes, no, it's not just Maureen. It would be a lot of us. Simone, Lindy, yes, and me. Fucking ignorant idiots, Harry and Meghan. Sorry about the language. No, but can I tell you something, all of you? I am not ruling out the possibility of doing some royal family presentation video content. Say maybe next year, 2 years' time, something like that. I'm thinking about doing royal family representation content in the comparable way to how Fiona does it, or Duchess Blair, Sue Smith, or many other royal channels, but I've just got to be careful. I'm going to really wait until this trolling saga nonsense has been considerably put to bed first before I consider doing something like that. Because obviously, if I take up doing it now, I'm obviously going to I would get dragged in to the unneeded nonsense, and I don't want that. I really don't. Especially, I'm being in my 20s, that could, you know, and to have gone through the amount of trolling, you know, the late Graham the Baron Hesketh went through before he died, Fiona, Trevor, obviously, undoubtedly Trevor, Sue Smith, Yankee Wally, and who else? The Duchess of Sussex, Duchess Blair, and several other channels are part of the royal family representation community. They have gone through a hell of a lot of unneeded, unprovoked trolling. And, you know, there's no need. There's no need for them to fall victim to such atrocious trolling atrocities. Yes, on the troll account on Twitter, and all the trolls going after them for it. No, I'm going to wait till this trolling nonsense has been considerably put to bed first, Simone. Yes, no need to expose yourself to that. No, and then that's when all the trouble begins, Maria. Thank you, Simone, thank you, but I'm going to wait first before I consider going into it. I'm going to wait first before it's considered to bed. Yes, I know, because of a 5K reward that Trevor's offered to find out the identity of the despicable troll behind this trolling account it's been leading that's caused so much trouble towards the late Captain Graham the Baron Hesketh, Fiona, Trevor, Sue Smith, Yankee Wally, who desperately needs justice served because of her channel takedown, and other royal family, royal and representation channels that have gone through all this trolling. Someone will end up spilling the beans, yeah. True that. Couldn't agree with you more. Mukmeow, couldn't agree with you more on that. No, nothing but disgusting. Very disgusting in there. He's put the reward up to 7.5K. Really? Oh, wow. That is an asking price. Completely vile and disgusting. Well, complicated as it's going to be, complicated as it is, and as it will be, Blacksmith, let's hope whoever can find out and expose the identity of the troll account behind this leading troll, behind this trolling group, hopefully, somebody could find out who this disgusting creature is. Herman, good evening to you. I'm all right, but I'm just sorry that your health is not good. No, I know that Graham and the late Captain Graham the Baron Hesketh and Fiona never deserved it. No, he was well and truly dignified and a wonderful man. I'm far too unique to do the Meghan videos. No, I don't think so. Well, I think maybe Meghan ones that will probably get me exposed to bad trolling at the moment. But royal representations on His Majesty the King, or or the Prince and Princess of Wales, I would consider doing that in the future. Don't say in the chat, but tell me privately, Blacksmith. I've got your personal phone number, so do tell me privately. And maybe one day we could have a chat about it. No, yes, may he rest in peace, our Captain Graham the Baron Hesketh. May he rest in peace. No, poor Graham, the loss of Graham was sad. As far as I'm concerned, she can disappear from public life, Narcissistic shithead is how one would describe Meghan with pea-sized intellect. That's how one would describe her. Okay. So, yeah, so interesting now that Trevor's put up the reward money. Very interesting indeed. Yes, please don't say a thing. Don't say a thing, Blacksmith. Well, in Pamela's absence, let's show one of my presentations, the newer ones I'm going to share. But when Pamela comes, if Pamela Garza comes in, I'll have to show it on repeat. I'll show it on repeat when Pamela Garza comes. Thank you, Simone. Yes, I got your feedback. I'm sorry I've not replied to every comment or every reply I've replied to you on, but I will try my best to catch up, Simone. I've got a lot of comments to reply to at the moment. I think it's probably going to take till the end of the month before I can reply to every single comment I've received, but I will try my best to reply. I remember you saying before, Simone. Yes, I remember you saying before. Yes. And he moved over to Australia by steamboat, as far as I'm certain. Okay. I'm going to show one of my newest and latest presentations. Interest one as it might, I'm going to show you. And some of you, I think you'll be interested to see what it entails. Let's have a look at the inside. One can only feel blessed or thankful to have a museum like the one I'm about to tell you about, located either nearest to your home residence or not too far from your home locality. This could be said about the Tangmere Aviation Museum. Tangmere Aviation Museum, it's a museum showcasing old aircraft from namely World War II era and from post-war era, from the time of national service, what have you. It's also a former RAF airbase, the Tangmere Aviation Museum. Well, that's what I so believe here. What surprises me by and large the most regarding Tangmere Aviation Museum is the fact that it's not a popular point of interest for international tourists. But hopefully one day in the future that could change. Because of the history it represents, and people generally by and large like history, it should hopefully be made happen, or somebody could make it happen, that the Tangmere Aviation Museum becomes a hugely popular tourist point of interest for international tourists all around the world alike. No, but it is worth seeing. Not only does it represent aircrafts on display seen at the Tangmere Aviation Museum itself, but it also represents some history regarding certain notable World War II veterans and also World War II history. And of course, that sort of history comes at the expensively pricey cost of importance for all generations, past, present, and future, to be learning about for intellectual learning growth. One thing for sure is I certainly could not stress that enough. But the Tangmere Aviation Museum, it's a museum, not only could I spend hours there, but I think many people could spend hours at the Tangmere Museum itself. It's worth seeing. Thank you all for listening to this presentation promoting and showcasing Tangmere Aviation Museum itself. Well, in fact, it's Tangmere Military Aviation Museum. Thank you all for listening. Wow, that's Tangmere Aviation Museum. Hello to BHA. Hello. Oh no. Gosh, a lot of the old buses are getting withdrawn now. Scania Omnideckers, they were my childhood too, as were the Scania Omnicities as well. I do hope another bus company will look after them, or somebody generous will preserve them. Hopefully, I really hope so. Too many of the old buses are getting withdrawn, and they're the best ones, the older ones, particularly Route Masters, what have you, or Enviros, the Enviro 200s, or the Dennis Darts, all that. Plaxton Tridents, they're now withdrawn. longest drawn from Brighton Hove. Simone. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Adam's aunt. Thank you. No, it surprises me that it's not a popular point of interest. Hi, Carly. Thank you. Thank you, Carly. Thank you for your support regarding the presentation I did regarding the Tangmere Military Aviation Museum. No, she's a real monster, that bloody Markhill. Real monster. Yoli, hello to you. Hello. And well done for all that you did in your nursing career. Well done, you. Hello to you, and well done for all that you've done. And thank you for your your friendliness towards me overall. Thank you. Yes, I'm quite well. I'm quite well, thank you. And I look well. Even I wouldn't believe you're old enough to be of retirement age, Yoli, because you look awfully young to me. I mean, if anything, you look no older than early 40s when seeing your profile picture. Well, mind you, a lot of people on my mother's side of the family look young too. Good evening, Ham Shackleton. Good evening to you. You're 44. Gosh, you look awfully young for it. You look extremely young for 44. Gosh. No, you look very, very young. You know, gosh, you probably look in your 20s looking at your profile picture. You look extremely young. Wow. Gosh, you look far too young to be in your 40s. Very, very young, I must say. Yes, no, that's all right. No trouble at all, McMeow. No trouble. That's an old shirt, Carla. It's an old shirt. I'm hoping so too. Whatever one I find, I'm gonna ride it for the last time before April. On a longer evening. But it have to be on an evening I'm not live streaming. I think it's 1970s as far as I'm certain, Ham Shackleton. Pretty sure it's 1970s. But I think it goes well with this. There. So, yeah. Yes, true. What did Blacksmith just say? I missed what Blacksmith said. Oh, I'm looking very smart today. Thank you, Simone. Thank you kindly. It does look nice. I think meant to say nice with the jumper. I'm a vintage chic. Oh, thank you, Adam's aunt. Thank you. It's quiet without the organ music. Lol. Oh, Maria. Can I tell you something, Yoli? I had somebody think, this is almost about a month ago now. I was in Hastings, because Hastings has become an interesting place for me to go to when there's no event attending happening. You know why I like Hastings? It's got the funicular railways. They've got some nice old pubs there, and a nice miniature railway to go to that runs on the weekend during the winter months. Same with generally speaking, the funicular railways, either two or one or the two. And some interesting old sights to see, interesting older sights to see in Hastings, particularly old houses and older historic buildings, what have you, in Hastings. Nicer. It did have a poor reputation in the past. I avoided it during its drug-infested poor reputation, but otherwise, it has been generally improved, luckily. They've got some nice businesses in Hastings, particularly nice vintage shops and things, though that I've never been there. Even though I have been in many before, I haven't been in the ones in Hastings yet. And they've got some, I'm just going to get Daphne inside. And they've got a very, very nice seafood place where you can get some seafood if you wanted to. Sort of like an open-top market, seafood market in Hastings that I go to pretty much every time I go and get myself and treat myself to some seafood. Lovely seafood. One day I'll probably make a plain salad and go to the seafood market and include the seafood there. Make a nice lunch meal, But whilst I was in Hastings in February of 2025, that was, Yoli, I met a man who was an 83-year-old man who I met an 83-year-old man who thought I was in my 40s. I mean, I never would have thought you were in your 40s, Yoli. I mean, you probably look about 20 years younger than your age, looking at your profile picture. No, I mean, you really do look obscenely young for over 40. I mean, I don't want to sound racist. I'm not trying to sound racist, but seeing your profile picture, there is the saying that black don't crack. Because, I mean, I've seen with a lot of black people that they really don't wrinkle or age very much, even into older age, many. Although there was a black actor who did actually look older than his age, but that's very rare on black people, generally speaking. A lot of black people, even into older age, I've seen generally don't look old enough to be nearing retirement age, what have you, or nowhere near nearing retirement age. So, yeah, money grabbers, those ones. You also take care of your skin. Important. Yeah, no, I've seen black doesn't crack, and they generally don't wrinkle dark skin. A lot of black and mixed race people generally don't age. There are white people who age well, but generally speaking, there are a lot of black. Just generally speaking, I've seen a lot of black people generally not aging. I'm going to Seattle next month, and they throw fish and stuff at Pike Place Market. Be 47 in June. My mother's going to be 47 in June of this year as well. Hastings, that's England. Hastings, England. No, it did have a poor reputation for drug infestation in the past, Yoli, but it got sorted, fortunately enough. I mean, according to David, it got sorted, my bestie, who I would never want to take for granted in a lifetime. And I am hugely thankful to have David as my best friend. Really, I am. No, the little market. I mean, I keep forgetting the name of the little seafood market where you stand outside and you've got someone who walks up to the counter and you've got this section of seafood down the bottom in like a metal glass pane shelter thing where it's got this seafood, a varied selection of seafood. And the person comes to the counter and say, what would you like? And you look at, they have little labels that shows you what seafood's on offer. Say which one, and you can have and they serve it to you in a certain sized tub. And then you get it served to you once you ask what you've asked for. Wonderful, wonderful seafood they do in Hastings. You're off. Ta-ta for now, Sue. Ta-ta for now. The only part of lobster worth eating is the tail. If you can find them on offer at the shop, it's worth a try. Yes, yes. I mean, I need to see what's going. You're going to be 60 in November. No crow feet, though. Sue, Alison, I never could have perceived you to be in your 60s. I never could have thought that. I would have thought you'd probably be in your 40s, 50s, maybe. That's what I could have perceived. I mean, I certainly never could have perceived you'd be 60. Wow. Really, I never once could have thought you were going to be 60. Yeah, yeah. You missed a signal. Hello to you, Southern and Solent on boards. Hello to you. I hope you have a nice time in Seattle, Fiona. Hope you have a nice time in Seattle. Costco do lobster if you are a member. Oh, wow. Got some rattly ones in Portsmouth, rattly buses. Avery, hello to you. She sells seashells on the seashores. Wow. Not 60 yet, 60. Oh, not that. No, you said you're 60 in November, but I never would have thought you'd be 60. I don't know why, Alison. I could have perceived you to be in your 50s, maybe, or 40s. I mean, I don't know how old your sons are, but I would have thought you'd be in your 50s, or presumably about 50. I never could have thought you'd be nearly 60. Don't know why, but that's what I thought in my head. Oh, you refuse to eat shellfish. Just think what they eat. Yeah. Ahoy, Southern old friend. Ahoy to you. This has been so wonderful and such a lovely way to start your day, but you need to go now. You take care, Simone. Ta-ta for now. Take care of your daughter. Now, I am surprised. Your eldest is 40. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Now, that I never could have known your son would be 40, Alison. If I would have thought your sons would be in their 20s or 30s. I don't know why I thought this, but wow, your eldest son is 40. Gosh, you were young when you had your oldest son. I mean, my mother was young when she had me, but not as young as you. Ta-ta for now, my lovely Maria. Your eldest will be 34 in April, youngest 30 in May. You had crabs once, never again. Oh, I like crab flesh. I like crab flesh. But sorry if it sounds a bit cruel. Oh, yes, Shappa. Yes, I'm always Harriet State on that Shappa's live stream. I know that. That Battle of Hastings was 1066, Fiona. Battle of Hastings was 1066. Yeah, yeah. Never eaten lobster, don't eat shellfish. You're allergic to seafood, so you cannot give an opinion. Oh, no. You're 20 in September. I'm 24 in June of this year, so I'm older than you. I'm quite a good few years older than you. Gosh. No, but don't worry about turning 20. It did surprise me when I hit 20, but, you know, I try to ignore it. I try to ignore having to contemplate to being over 20. Past few days here in Scotland, the weather has been sunny. You made your garden as good as your 64-year-old carcass is able to. Feel proud to what you've achieved. How lovely. Well done, you. Your son is 22. Now, Christine, surprise me as it might, you do look a little bit young to have a 22-year-old son. You don't look extremely young. You don't look extremely young, Christine, but looking at your picture, you look maybe 38, something like that. You don't look extremely young for nearly 47, but you only look about 38 to me. No, you really don't look old enough to have a son in his 20s. You know, I mean, my mother looks completely nowhere near old enough to have a son who's almost 27 and probably looks in her 20s, easily middle 20s, I would say. But there is an actor who's the same age as you, Christine, and he looks easily younger than yourself. He's black, by the way. Anthony Mackie is his name. He's 47 in September, and I personally think he looks about half his age. I easily think he looks about 23 instead of what in his late 40s. If you look at what he looks like, it is unbelievably surprising. Harriet, I do not think you look 21. In my opinion, I think you look, I'm not going to say here, but no, I'm not going to say because it'll probably cause trouble. No, it's a pleasure. You do look fairly young for your age. Not as young as mother, but you don't look old enough to have a 22-year-old son. You've been wanting to rejoin a live stream for a couple of days now. Got to say, you've really been enjoying my videos. Thank you, Southern and Solent on board. Thank you. Thank you. Well, were you referring to Sir Lord Dandy's humour? Your younger daughter is 24, 25 in May. She was born Mother's Day 2000. Also, she's just older than I. She's just older than I. Gosh, you do not look anywhere near old enough to be to have a daughter who's 25. You look far too young to have a daughter who's nearly 25, Yoli. Far too young. I mean, I don't know if your parents are still alive or not, but I imagine they look too young to be grandparents, I would assume. Yes, I will take a video of it. I will. I did a video showcasing farewell to the Brighton Hove bus route 1A before the 1X entered service. And I even did a video of me when I first rode the Brighton Hove bus route 1X. I hope they do some more new Brighton and Hove bus routes. I really hope so, because more new bus routes, the better. That's what I'd certainly say. All that. Worcester Park, England. Worcester Park, I think that's London. I'm Brighton, England. Avery, I'm Brighton. He's funny. He's very funny. Yeah. Martin, God, it's alive! God, it's alive! God, it's alive! Marvellous! Actually, you know, I'm going to show it. I'm going to really show it. Okay. Where the hell is it? Oh, sorry about the naughty language, but I just can't see where the hell... Oh, there it is.
Gordon's alive?
They should bring back the 25X. No, it really is sweet she was born on Mother's Day. It really is sweet. You need to do Worthing for the stagecoach buses before all the routes changes. You need to go to Brighton at some point. You have 2 grown children. Your other daughter will be 27. Your mother is also a June baby. She'll be 75. But she has a hard life and sadly looks like it. Oh dear. Really, a lot of 75-year-old black women generally look easily 25, 30 years younger, many. But she's had a hard life, poor lady. I mean, I bet your two daughters look too young to be in their 20s. I bet they look too young. I mean, I bet they look younger than I do. No, I mean, I hard to tell you. You'd be surprised, Jolie. I have not been asked for ID. Haven't been ID'd since I was about 18. I haven't been asked for ID for a long time. At 23, I don't even get asked for ID. I hardly ever get ID'd. And yet there are people older than I who can get ID'd, especially black people older than I who get ID'd. I don't mean to sound racist, but I could only conclude this can happen, especially given many black people can preserve a young appearance for a long time. And facially, that is. Hi, Lils. Hello to you. Saw you on Sue's live stream on Monday night. Nice to see you. Hello to you and your lovely husband. And thinking of your lovely husband, who sometimes breaks down and cries. Oh, poor man. But at least he's got you to love and hug. That's the main thing. Yeah, we've got our lovely Lils, haven't we, Maria? Seems like most of the South Coast are having changes on the buses. Portsmouth are getting new routes. Chichester are making the 700 24/7, and the changes in Worthing. Really? Oh, wow. No, I don't think you could ever get ID'd, Harriet. I don't think you could ever get ID'd. Seeing what you look like, there's no chance you could be ID'd. No chance whatsoever. I think if you were, no, and as are you, my lovely Lils, as are you. No, but can I tell you something, Yoli? There was a black actor. He died almost a year ago. I don't know if you've heard of him, Bill Cobbs. Have you heard of Bill Cobbs, the actor? He's black. And in a movie, he was in his 70s in the movie, and despite being in his 70s, and despite being black, he probably looked about 80. And if one told me he was about maybe 84, I would have believed that. He lived until he was 90, but there was a movie he was in his early 70s, and he could have possibly been in his 80s easily. That's it. Yes, he was in Night. I saw him in Night at the Museum. Yes. No, I mean, he was in his 70s, and he was fairly physically incapacitated, because he had he carried a cane with him in his 70s. In his 70s, he carried a cane. And you really don't expect that with a lot of people in their 70s, but obviously some people do have physical incapacitation in their 70s. You've got to go. Ta-ta for now, BHA. Ta-ta for now, but I don't know what BHA stands for. Of course you don't get ID'd. I was talking to Harriet, not you, Lils. But if you buy alcohol, you always ask with a cheeky wink, do you want to see my ID? My auntie got asked for ID buying alcohol when she was 42. Imagine that. I mean, when my mother was 40, she looked extremely young. She still looks extremely young as of now. Who's 47 this year and only looks about 25, 26, something like that. I mean, my dad also looks good for his age too. Not as young as my mother, but I mean, not as young as what my mother looks like, but he looks good for his age. Easily in his middle 30s, I'd say my father looks, despite being in his late 40s. But everybody on my mother's side of the family, all are 50 and over. They're all 50 and over, my mother's older siblings, and they all look in their 30s. 50s and over, and yet they look in their 30s despite being in their 50s, not even looking 40. My mother's siblings, surprise one as it might. I mean, I've got an uncle who's going to be 60 in 2 years' time, and last time I saw him, I thought he only looked about 38. I mean, you'd never believe he's got two daughters in their 20s. You'd think he's too young to have daughters in their 20s. And his wife, who's a couple of months younger than him, she looks good for her age, but looks older than him. His wife, who's only a couple of months younger than he, easily looks older than him, you know. Easily his wife looks older than my uncle. I know you're 64, Maureen, yet you look like fossils from 600 years ago. Oh, gosh. I'm mixed. My mother is half Jamaican. I know I don't look it. I'm very fair in the skin, I know. And actually, I don't tan very easily. Despite being a quarter Jamaican, Fiona, I don't tan very easily. I actually get burnt quite easily, whereas my mother would hardly get sunburnt. I mean, she's not completely black. She's got brown skin, but her late father was black, on the other hand. You know, but my father is pure white. I think that's where I've got the fair skin. I've got it from my father, but I've got my eyes from my mother. Got my similar hair to my father, although it was very curly at one point because my mother's got curly hair. Still a complete full set of curly hair. You know, complete full set of curly hair is what my mother's got, as do all of her siblings. You know, but all of my mother's older brothers and sisters, I think they look too young to have nephews in their 20s or very late teens. They all look too young, I would say. They definitely look too young to have a nearly 24-year-old nephew, I would say. All of my mother's older siblings, despite being over 50. You're blonde but tan well. Hello to you, Sea Gypsy. Hello to you. Oh, yes, I had a pint of beer of Guinness in the pub for St. Patrick's Day. Moderators, it's a girl thing. Gosh, you've got young attitude, haven't you? Despite having a daughter who's, what, a few years older than I, you have got young attitude. And you've got cheeky attitude, Lils. Oh, porridge. Nothing could beat porridge, Sir Lord Dandy. Nothing could beat a good porridge. My mother is beautiful and does look very young. People do say that about my mother. People say my mother looks young enough to be my sister. Oh, sorry, I already said goodbye. Brighton Hove. Oh, yes, that's it. Brighton Hove Albion. Brighton Hove Albion. Thank you, Lindy. Thank you for saying my mother is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. No, it's lovely having our Sea Gypsy in here. Thank you, Ham Shackleton, Harriet, and Blacksmith for your kindness towards Sea Gypsy. Thank you. Thank you. And go a pathetic check. This happens to me a lot. This happens to me a lot in the summer season, Lindy. This happens to me, particularly in my cheeks. And also my hands are also starting to get red whenever I expose my hands in the sun, bright sunlight. I have the rest of my life to grow up. Oh, yes. I think you said it before. I don't remember. You're pasty white and had to work on getting a tan and never could. Now you go to a suntan place. Oh, okay. Thank you, Hailey, for your kindness towards Sea Gypsy. Oh, but please, on Friday, though we've got Sapper's live stream on Friday, please do at the same time keep Sea Gypsy in our thoughts, because it's going to be her mother's funeral on Friday, over down under in Australia. But please be especially kind. Sea Gypsy. Oh, you're crocheting. Yes, you said you have an affinity for crocheting, don't you? Well, Maybe I could crochet with you. You should teach me. Crochet, crochet, crochet. No, but please think of Sea Gypsy on Friday. She's got her mother's funeral on Friday. And she grew up. Oh, poor Sea Gypsy. I mean, she's not saddened. Why she's not saddened about the loss of her mother? Because her mother was a blatant narcissist. I don't know if one could go as far as her saying she was a toxic narcissist, but it's my concluded assumption she was a toxic narcissist. You know, I mean, gosh, she spent 60 years of her life growing up with dealing with a toxic narcissist. I mean, oh my, toxic narcissist to the point where she made her life a complete misery. I mean, that is just a hard thing to contemplate too, having a toxic narcissist. You know, and as Sea Gypsy said, you can't win, especially against a narcissist. True that. I mean, you know, it's obviously growing up with narcissistic parents, you know, growing up with narcissistic parents, you know, that's hard. No, it is wrong to not attend a mother or father's funeral. It would be wrong to not attend a funeral, but you've gone through too much. A toxic narcissist, which you've been dealing with, what, 60 years of your life, that is difficult, and that's inevitably going to take its toll. Dealing with narcissistic parents, Yoli, it takes its toll on oneself. It really takes its toll. Perfect crocheting technique. You'd be happy to teach anyone who wants to learn. Thank you for your support towards Sea Gypsy, Yoli. Thank you. It's hard losing a parent, even. A parent. You don't think you have the strength to go there. Family members have turned it. Oh, no. Oh, no. That is hard. Oh, no, that is bloody difficult. Your sister didn't go to your mother's funeral, but she was lucky you went. And thank you for sympathizing with Sea Gypsy, Lils. Thank you. Thank you kindly. You know, but I think you did say before, Lils, didn't you say you forgave your mother at the time of her saddening death, and that you kissed her and what have you? She's dealing with too much toxicity, poor Sea Gypsy. Dealing with far too much toxicity. No one deserves to fall victim to such toxicity. That is pure evil. That's pure toxicity and pure evil if they do that. Thank you, Alison. Thank you. No, last thing, you know, narcissistic traits and having narcissists as family relatives and loved ones, that could break oneself's mentality easily. That could really break one's mentality, Alison, you know, unimaginably. I haven't collected something, no. Really, you've got a small collection of model cars from your late grandfather. I've actually got quite a lot of shirts from and jumpers I inherited from my late grandfather after he died. And I've even got many of his blazers, suit jacket blazers. Yes, Yes, that's true. That's true, Harriet. Yes, that's true. Your hair came back curly. It's never changed since then. Oh, wow. Sorry about the chemo you went through. 30th of March, Martin, 30th of March. Oh, no. Please don't cry. Oh, gosh. That is very, very... Oh. No, that does hurt me when one wants to cry because they've dealt with so much toxicity. Toxicity, nobody deserves to fall victim to such toxicity. Nobody does. Generally wet food. Generally wet food. You know how you feel. Your mother never wanted you or your sister. She was a selfish person. Oh, dear. Which, it seems like she was a narcissist, Lils. It seems like she was a narcissist. You did forgive her. No, you said before at the hospital you forgave her and kissed her. Yes, no, Sea Gypsy is not her mother. She's her own person. We're all our own person, aren't we? Oh, thank you. Thank you, my good friend. But you find but but you find people find it fun to take it. Oh, shit. There's too many bad people out there. They take advantage of the good people. Shit. It's absolute shit. Actually, tell you something, I'm quite strong. I'm fairly strong-willed, and I will not let any dickhead fool me around. Please don't try to see Gypsy. There's nothing wrong with opening up and expressing yourself. No trouble at all, and we support you. The best way forward, Lils, the best way forward. Thank you, Martin. Thank you kindly. You don't see any point in leaving bunches of cut flowers on the grave either. Oh, God. Please don't worry about venting your frustrations, Sea Gypsy. You've dealt a very, very long time of your life with a narcissistic mother and narcissistic parent and narcissistic relatives, which has obviously not only affected you, but it affected your late brother, didn't it? As you did say before. Sir Lord Dandy, what did he say? What was my favourite toy? When I was a little boy, I used to have a toy collie dog, black and white collie dog, as a little boy. Sir Lord Dandy. A very nice toy collie dog who I used to take with me everywhere I went. I was around about 8 or 9 when my grandmother got me him, and I took him everywhere I went until I was about 10 or 11, maybe 12, something like that. He was a cute little doggy. Cute little doggy he was. I think there's only one true gentleman and one true gentleman who I know. It was stuffed, yes. Wait a moment. Sir Lord Dandy, wait a moment. I think there was only one true gentleman and one true gentleman only who I knew growing up in my lifetime, Southern and Solent on boards. One true gentleman only. And that was nobody other than my wonderful late grandfather Edmund, who was the epitome of a true gentleman. I mean, he well and truly was. Honestly, I don't think anybody could ever find a true gent like that other than my wonderful late grandfather Edmund. Honestly, he was the only true gent I knew. I've met many good men in my lifetime, Southern and Solent on boards. But there's only one true gentleman and one true gentleman only, and that was nobody other than my wonderful late grandfather Edmund. Time to deliver cuppies. You have a good day, McMeow. Have a good day. Love to you always. No, as does mine. As does mine too, Maureen. I'll tell the collie's name. I named him Billy. That was his name. I called him Billy. He looked like a Billy to me as a little boy. Oh. I think the only thing Harriet would expect from you, Lils, is nothing but a big, nice, long hug. She spared no expense on her prepaid funeral. Selfish git. Sorry, Sea Gypsy. But obviously, given the fact that she was a true narcissist, the only thing you'd expect from narcissists is that they're selfish gits, you know. Sorry if that was too much. You had a CT scan, Lils, really? Oh, wow, I didn't know you needed a CT scan. What happened to you? Hoping you're okay. I never played bingo as a child, but I used to like playing Snakes and Ladders or other good board games as a child. Even though I loved computer games, I liked board games in addition too, but the older I got as a child, the sillier I became and the more obsessed I got with naughty computer games and naughty content. Well, the naughty content I liked was the annoying orange as a little boy. It was very popular at the time when I was a little boy on YouTube. Taking into account my 24 years of age, it's been around for a long time, the annoying orange. Oh no, you had enlarged lymph nodes. Oh dear. Oh dear. I do hope you get better soon. But that must be annoying. The annoying orange, yes, I did like that kind of naughty. Ham Shackleton. I have played before, I don't play it all the time. It's very complicated, but it's worth playing. I'm going to an event on Sunday, Sea Gypsy, an event I've never been to before. But 2 weeks, your father was a gentleman. You remember a man knocking on the door to say thank you. He stopped him getting bullied. Oh. They're all rip-off merchants, yes, I know. Oh, wow. Right, I think it's time to finish the live because I wasn't going to do very. Oh no! Oh no! I forgot to share the second presentation because we were haywire being conversant. You know, I was so busy being conversant. No. Actually, my uncle used to have a PlayStation and he had GTA. I used to come under the impression it was called City Car Game when in fact it was GTA. It wasn't the fifth one, I think it was the third one or so. He let me play it stupidly when I was about 9 and it was an 18 game. Honestly, I loved playing it, but I was forced to be stopped playing it. My grandmother wouldn't have approved, and she has got quite a bad temper on her. My grandmother, that's my paternal grandmother I'm referring to. She's got really quite a fiercely bad temper on her. She wasn't always so bad-tempered with me, but sometimes she could involuntarily let it out. If I was asking for the slightest bit of information, sometimes she'd say something my mother never approved of, you know. But she and my mother unfortunately never got along. I mean, my mother never got along with my father's mother, unfortunately, sadly, because she did not approve of her bad temper. And actually, I mean, it really affected me once when it happened. But I think there was a dispute once. I don't know what it. There was something my mother didn't agree with what my grandmother did, And she kept my brother and I away from her for many months. Months. But she eventually let us go back to her, fortunately enough, because it really did upset me a lot when my mother kept my brother and I away from my paternal grandmother for months. You know, and obviously missed being around with Edmund as well, my wonderful late grandfather, who I was really quite very close to when growing up. So, you know, yeah. Sorry, Harriet, I was only shouting, opening up about something. You always lose at bingo, but always play it wrong. Oh, gosh. Oh, your daughter's precious. How lovely, Maureen. I mean, Lil's here has got two precious daughters. One of them's having a baby in April, and the other one's got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Poor girl. Poor girl. Your idea of naughty was rather different. No, I know that because you're ex-military. Ex-Royal Navy, as Ham Shackleton, Sutherland Solent's just to say. Oh, right. It's time to show the second presentation, but we went haywire with being conversant. So now it's time to show the second, new, latest presentation. And then we're going to wrap things up because I was originally only going to do about 1 hour, 10 minutes, but we've nearly gone 1 hour, 20. So time for the presentation, and then we're wrapping things up here. Roman history is something we've learned about for many years. Well, in this case, if you're going to this museum, like none other than the Fishbourne Roman Palace, well, from what I've seen from my experience, is that Roman history almost certainly comes alive if you're going here, especially when you're seeing all of it through your own eyes yourself. The Fishbourne Roman Palace, to so describe its inside, is that it's a historic site in Sussex. Uh, And the palace, believe this or not, Fishbourne Roman Palace, it is the largest known Roman residence north of the Alps, which has an unusually early date of around about 75 AD, which was presumably when it was built, a very, very long time ago. Yeah. But over the years, much of the palace got excavated and is preserved. It's been preserved for a very, very long time. Fishbourne Roman Palace itself, I think its ownership didn't come into effect until around about 1968, I think, something like that. As far as I know, it's been preserved for almost 60 years. But it's known also as Fishbourne Roman Palace and Gardens. But the history to be seen at Fishbourne Roman Palace, you see all these Roman artifacts, certain Roman artifacts on display, and also one of the most distinctive of all things to see at the Fishbourne Roman Palace itself are the very, very interesting and marvelous looking mosaics they've got. The mosaics are true history. Even the palace gardens has an interesting distinction too. But the palace itself is the overall, by and large, huge and largest distinction of all kinds, in a way to so describe the Fishbourne Roman Palace itself. But like many museums, or many well-known museums in the United Kingdom, I'm so surprised that this museum is not one of the most attractive international points of interest for international tourists. But hopefully, one day in the future, one could make it happen that the Fishbourne Roman Palace itself becomes an international point of interest for tourists, and that it becomes successful from international tourists worldwide on a regular basis. If that could happen, this could not only increase its popularity, but also increase its attractiveness, to making it attractive for international tourists around the world alike. It's worth going to, and I would certainly recommend the Fishbourne Roman Palace, not only to domestic residents up and down the United Kingdom length and breadth of its entirety as a whole, but also I would certainly recommend it to international tourists alike. Thank you all most sincerely, kindly for taking the time for listening to this representation. But here we go for Fishbourne Roman Palace. And do be assured, if there are enough visitors in one day visiting Fishbourne Roman Palace itself, even if it's only as many as 5 visitors taking the paid visit there, you could be sure to have or sure to receive a nice tour from one of the tour guide volunteers at the Fishbourne Roman Palace. Thank you all most sincerely kindly for listening to this very representation itself. Fishbourne Roman Palace, I'd certainly recommend it, and Fishbourne Roman Palace presentation over and out.
Well, that's it. I think you said you had to go. Ta-ta for now, lovely Lils. Thank you, Harriet. Thank you kindly. Fishbourne Roman Palace, I'd recommend it big time, Yoli. And if you want to, please feel free to promote it on social media, on Facebook groups, or whatever social media you have outside of YouTube. Feel free to promote it to other groups, because this could interest a lot of international tourists who use Facebook or Instagram, what have you, Yoli, and that could really prove instrumentally useful in increasing its popularity and attractiveness for points of interest in the United Kingdom as a whole. It surprises me it's not an enormously attractive point of interest in the United Kingdom. You take care, lovely Lils. Love and hugs. Good luck with your lymph nodes appointment, and hoping things improve with that. And hoping all goes well with your poor daughter, who's got the MS, multiple sclerosis, thinking of her. And of course, congratulations to your older daughter for the birth of her baby in April. Yes, we've got to go. And there's no more inspirational lives for the rest of the week. The rest of the week, it's podcast week. Wednesday and Thursday, we've got podcast live streams. Part 2 with finishing off the live stream podcast with Hutch. And the podcast on Thursday, Rick Paul is who we've got. Hello from New Orleans, Martin. You're in New Orleans. Wow. And next inspirational live stream, 25th of March, 2025. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Ta-ta for now. And may happiness be knocking kindly on your doorstep.